Luna, come on. Oh, there she goes. She's off again. Luna, come back. Where's Buddy? Buddy! Oh, now I've lost one. Buddy! Hi everybody. I realise it's been a while since I updated the situation from last time I did one of my little rants, and it was like I didn't have my driver's license because Vic Roads had suspended it because of the medical form not being filled out, and I was having no luck finding a doctor that would treat me where I was, and yeah, everything was just getting a bit dire again, you know. But anyway, as is always the case, I find with my health issues, you know, I've got to be the one that gets proactive and makes things happen for myself. Um, that's one thing, you know, when you're a recluse and you live on your own, whether by, choice or necessity, there is no one else who's got your back, who's looking out for you. So you kind of have to just really be your own advocate, you know. So anyway, what I ended up doing, because the doctor had never gotten back to me, the horrible doctor that, wasn't very nice to me and made me have a total meltdown panic attack, I ended up getting in touch with my GP from up in Queensland, who had been seeing me for, 5+ years, knew my complete history and who I had actually seen since I'd come back from America. And I just asked him if he could please fill out the form for Vic Roads with my medical history. And at least then he could tick the form that said, yes, he knows this patient for X many years and he knows my medical history. And then I followed that up. So I sent that through, emailed that through to Vic Roads, followed it up with a phone call, and got my driver's license reinstated immediately, which was awesome. So yeah, free to drive again. And then, obviously the health issues was something that I had said in previous videos, like roaming constantly and not having that consistency of care is something that I was really needing to address. And so in a kind of way, losing my license when I did was kind of like a timely thing that forced me to stop and take time off the road. And obviously I had no other option, so I did make an effort to get my health stuff sorted. So I finally got onto my rheumatologist in Brisbane, who had said that he could no longer treat me if I was going to be, out of state. To refer me to a rheumatologist down here. I got the social worker at the hospital here to refer me to a psychologist through the Royal Flying Doctors Service, who I've spoken to a couple of times now. So that's been really good and helpful. And we're going to be working on, a lot of childhood trauma stuff. Like my childhood was insane. My life has been pretty crazy, and it's made certain things difficult to deal with. And I know that a lot of the way I've, chosen to live my life and living constantly on the move like this, because that's all I ever knew and that's what I'm used to, but also because that's been a coping mechanism for me, to always feeling like a weirdo, always feeling like I didn't fit in or I didn't belong, I didn't have that sense of connection. Like most people who have some kind of community that they grew up in or that they've lived in for a long time have, I don't have that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's stuff I need to work on, because I know a lot of people feel like they're weird or they don't fit in, and this is, quite a common human problem, not just a Lisa problem, but it's something that I would like to learn, coping skills and recognizing things like triggers and how to handle them without having a complete meltdown, or, the automatic instinct for me to just bolt and drive away when things get tough. So, against my normal instincts for me to stay put a little while. But I've been doing well, actually. It's been helpful the fact that the caravan park I've been staying at was, they didn't kick me out. They had told me I could stay there for as long as I needed to, so that was really helpful. Excuse that, that's a tractor. Very big tractor. You probably won't see it because of the light, but there it goes. I'm house sitting at the moment on a big, huge farm. So yeah, tractors roll in and out every now and then because they're out there spraying fertilizer on the wheat, which has just started sprouting up. It's a big wheat farm. So the owners are away on holiday and they've asked me to house sit and puppy sit for them. So I'm looking after a little Jack Russell Terrier called Buddy. He's super cute, and they've also got a cattle dog, blue heeler type dog. I don't know what it is, but one of those kind of dogs called Luna, and she's beautiful as well. And Pixie is adapting to having other dogs getting my attention. So anyway, so we're on the farm for a couple of weeks at the moment, which has again put me back into pretty much total isolation mode, which at first was a little bit challenging because I've been starting to get involved in the community that I've been staying at, for the last couple of months now, I guess it's been. I found a community garden and I started getting involved in being able to get your hands in dirt and plant things and weed and rake and eat things that are grown fresh out of the ground with no sprays or is something that I have missed a lot about nomad life, caravan life. I love gardening. I've always been an avid gardener, so that was something, a bit of a gem that I discovered in that town was this little community garden. Costs you $15 a year to join, and they meet on a Saturday morning, and it was a really nice community vibe. Everyone was friendly and nice, and one of the kids was playing in the local band, and he pulled out his trumpet and started practicing trumpet. So then I signed up with the local band, and I've been to a couple of practice sessions with them, and that was a bit of a challenge because I haven't had to sight read music on the spot like that for a while. I'm more of an ear player, but I've been really making an effort to integrate myself into the community more, which is something that my psychologist had been adamant was essential to my healing process from the CPTSD, is to have enough connections, non-transactional relationships, good, positive human interactions with people that have no expectations on me to perform in any way. It's just normal, I guess, like normal people do, which I'm not used to. So that's an effort for me to do that, but I've taken his advice and I have been doing that, and the people have been really nice. Like, they're just really nice people. So I've been feeling in a good place, emotionally, and assured that physically I was getting on top of things. The dizzy spells were a concern, and I finally got in to see another doctor who took me seriously about this recurrent dizzy spells, because it's been several months now of disconcerting vertigo. And he sent me off. We did a barrage of blood tests and urine tests and all this kind of thing, and my liver function's fine, my kidney function was fine, my thyroid was actually behaving itself, my B12 was fine. Everything was fine, except my cholesterol was really, really high, which is probably because I, recently attempted to do the keto diet thing, hoping that would help my interstitial cystitis. My doctor up in Maleny in Queensland had actually suggested keto diet might help the inflammatory, painful bladder syndrome of interstitial cystitis. It did seem to help for a little while. But my RA got worse. So it's like, RA's under control, the bladder flares up. The bladder's under control, the RA flares up. You just can't win. So I'd still been eating a lot of basically keto stuff. I was kind of sticking to meat, eggs, dairy, and not really, not eating a lot of grains or anything like that. And not a lot of fruit or vegetables, because that was causing my bladder to really hurt as well. So then, the doctor tests me and he goes, oh, your cholesterol's 7.6. You're like a heart attack waiting to happen. I said, the baricitinib, the Olumiant that I take for my rheumatoid arthritis, has got a known side effect of causing high cholesterol. And this is the problem with the medical profession. You know, they treat you for one thing and then they create another problem out of the thing that they're treating you for. But he really scared me, you know. He's like, he never once asked me, what's your diet like? What are you eating? You know, are you exercising regularly? Which I do, and I felt like I was eating fairly well. He didn't ask me any of that sort of stuff. It was just, here's a prescription for statins. You're going to need to take these or you're going to have a heart attack and you're going to die. Oh, hey, hang on. I'll stop that. Crikey, it's a busy day on the farm here today. I keep getting interrupted. And then I forget what my train of thought is and where I was. So anyway, wrapping it up. Getting involved in a community is a good thing. Coming out here and being isolated on the farm again felt quite weird in comparison. But then I realized there are certain advantages to being out here. Like I can play saxophone late at night, which I did last night. I cranked up my tunes really loud and I'm just playing, jamming along to random songs I like on my Spotify playlist, and realizing, you know, that's something you can't do when you're at a caravan park. So obviously the urge to up and roll is never going to leave me. Like, it's, you know, there's still moments where I really want to just take off somewhere and keep rolling the way I just know, because it feels familiar and it feels relatively safe to not let people get too close to me, to always be a stranger, to always be someone from somewhere else. Was probably how, here's the tractor again, was probably how I coped with feeling like a weirdo. You know, if you feel like a weirdo and you know that you're different, but then, you know, you're just a temporary transient person coming and going from one place to another, then you can kind of get away with being a little bit weird. You know, people were just like, oh, she was a bit weird. Yeah, she was a bit weird, but now she's gone, you know. Whereas when I'm staying in one place for a while and, you know, I worry about what people are saying about me, what they think about me, and, you know, thinking that I'm a bit weird, that doesn't feel comfortable to me. I'm just learning to embrace my crazy, you know, and I've been saying that for the last sort of couple of years, really, that this whole thing was about working out who I am, not based on my performance or level of success or expectations upon me, just who am I, you know, who am I apart from all those things, and am I okay with the fact that the way I live and the way I decorate my space, the way I am quite happy to live in my caravan, the way I dress, the way, you know, everything about me being something a little bit different from the type of person that just blends into the background. Not really kind of who I am. And yeah, so I'm kind of going to stay put for a little while in this general area of rural Victoria, mainly because with all the COVID restrictions happening, and it's still happening again now, like I really wanted to go up to Queensland to say goodbye to my daughter before she went to Canada. I was concerned then, as I was with the Uluru trip, that, you know, border closures between states seem to happen with barely a moment's notice, and restrictions and lockdowns are still happening on a regular basis. At the moment it's Sydney, you know, it was Brisbane not very long ago. It's just not a good time to be a nomad when it comes to traveling around the country in the way that I had initially planned. Being in a remote rural area is the safest place for me to be with no immune system, and less likely to be caught out by a sudden border closure or a sudden lockdown restriction, placing me somewhere isolated and unexpected and unfamiliar. So I'm comfortable to stay put. I will be doing various side trips and getaways. I've got a few things organized, some campouts that are happening that I've signed up for, and you know, as things feel a little bit safer, as far as you know, more people are vaccinated, or for whatever reason it is that these lockdown things stop happening and these border closures stop happening, then, as somebody said to me once when I was all disappointed about, you know, having to cancel my Uluru trip, the rock is not going anywhere, Lisa. The rock will always be there. It's been there for 30 million years. It'll be there for another 30 million. So I am going to take heart in that, and I've not given up on my dreams to go to Uluru and the Northern Territory and more of Western Australia, but I'm going to wait until this whole situation is a little bit more predictable. If that takes a couple of years, then so be it. And just keep on working on my health, my mental health, my physical health, try to keep as strong and resilient as possible, so that when that time comes, when I can travel again a little bit further afield, then that's still my goal. I'm never going to give up being a gypsy girl until the day that I literally cannot do it. It's just, yeah, I'm still happy with my choice. I'm still happy with my beautiful little home, and I'm feeling a lot better mentally because I have taken necessary steps to get myself into a better headspace, you know, physically and emotionally. And that's really, it's a full-time job. It never ends for me. So anyway, that's the update. Things are going great. There's little trips going to be happening, and in the meantime, yeah, the big lap around Australia is on hold yet again. So see what next year brings. I'll keep posting things that I see and do around the place, like I keep doing. And thanks for watching and finding it interesting. It's nice for me to be able to just express myself here, because I don't get to talk about stuff that's going on for me very much. And I appreciate the feedback that people have been giving me to say that they can relate. So that's kind of cool. If you can relate to me when I feel like a complete space oddity, then that's really special to me. So thanks for that. See ya.